Welcome back to the D. Armstrong Show. This is an area that all of us find ourselves in sometimes. When is clean, clean enough? Joining us this afternoon is Dr. Isabel Blumberg. She's the medical advisor for Healthy Nation. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dee, for having me today.
It's wonderful, and she has an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and we're talking about cleanliness. Just because it looks clean doesn't mean it's clean, right?
Exactly.
Now, what are some of the areas that as mothers we have good intentions, but we may not be getting done as well as we should?
I think people need to realize that, you know, the surfaces in your home where there's a lot of bacteria and germs, like the bathroom and the kitchen, are really important areas that you want to keep clean and disinfected, because that's a really important place where germs and bacteria are going to congregate.
So what's the difference between clean and disinfected?
Well, you know, things that just wipe down the surface don't disinfect. So, for example, the floor is another place where if your kids are playing on the floor, they're going to put their hands on the floor and then put their hands in their mouth. If you just wipe it away, the surface dirt, you're not really disinfecting. And I've actually partnered with Lysol Clean Flip, which is a new product to the market that is a sweeper that also disinfects while it cleans. And that's important because, you know, that's how you're going to get the most amount of germs and bacteria away from your family.
Now, what is it in the Lysol that makes it much better than just some water that makes it look pretty?
It has a disinfectant in it. So, for example, if you just take water and wipe down the surface, you're wiping away surface dirt, but there's a misperception that you're actually cleaning it, and you need a disinfectant to get rid of germs and bacteria.
Got to disinfect it. I think every Saturday morning, that's what our home smelled like, was Lysol. We couldn't go outside and play until we got that house clean. Now, what are some of the areas that we tend to miss?
I think some of the areas that we tend to miss are the baseboards, for example.
Wow.
A lot of dirt, a lot of dirt and dander, pet dander, things like that can collect in the baseboards. And the Clean Flip has a cool feature where it flips up so you can get into that area at the same time, so it cuts down on some of your cleaning time.
I see that that device there has a little pop-up on the sides, and I imagine that research has shown that if you don't, if you aren't able to get in those cracks, you're missing some areas, huh?
Well, exactly. You're missing some areas, and guess what? You know, if your kids are playing on the floor, they are getting into those areas. So it's important to keep, you know, the whole floor surface clean.
Now, going back to the bathroom, I saw that you cleaned the interior of the toilet. Why is that important?
Well, that's where you're going to find the most bacteria in your bathroom, you know, there and around the tub and things like that. But, you know, that's where you're going to get the most bacteria. So that's where you really want to disinfect inside the toilet bowl.
And, you know, that is one of the areas that have the most bacteria, and that's one of the areas the kids like to play in, isn't it? You have to run them out of the tub sometimes.
That's right, and your kids are going to spend a lot of time in the bathtub, so you want to make sure that you keep those surfaces really well cleaned on a daily basis.
And as a doctor, what are some of the germs that we're concerned about? What are we talking about specifically, those things that could get into our homes and we don't want them to stay there?
E. coli is a big one that you would see in the bathroom. Salmonella is another one that can, you know, be brought into the house in meat products and things like that when you're preparing them in the kitchen. Rhinoviruses, which cause the common cold, can live on surfaces for longer than you think. So those are ones that you want to make sure you're really protecting your family from.
And Dr. Blumberg, these are present, am I right, in most homes. It's not whether or not they are there, they're there. It's whether or not we're going to keep them at bay. Is that right?
Exactly, and so that's why, you know, keeping your home clean and washing your hands regularly is really important to protect yourself and your family.
And the best way to use the Lysol is to read the instructions, I imagine, huh?
Read the instructions, and remember, there are cleaning products for your home and cleaning products for your family. You can't mix them up.
Okay. Where can we find more information? I'm sure we piqued the interest of a lot of parents. They want to go and they want to do some reading.
You can go to cleanflip.com, and it gives you some great tips on how to keep a healthy and a clean home for your family. Dr.
Blumberg, thank you so much for joining us. The kids are 8 and 5. That's a wonderful age. You know, they grow up before you know it. Thank you for being with us on the D. Armstrong Show. We will be right back after this break. Don't go away.